everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Under Further Review. I'm Kata.
And I'm Andrew.
And this is the show where two lushes get drunk on sports.
That's right. This is Under Further Review. We are presented in part by Last Word on Sports.
We are.
Bless up. Hi.
Hi.
What's going on?
I have so many feelings inside of me.
It's not good to bottle those up. You should, how long have you... What? Are you okay?
It's been a really long week.
Uh-huh.
And also, kind of unrelated, since I'm in grad school and everything, we just finished our first quarter. And so this weekend, I kind of spent in this very, celestial space of,
celestial space.
It was really just kind of a bizarre, feeling to be done with a couple of these classes. And so then football happened, and I, couldn't really process it, which was hard. Also, I'm still kind of reeling from last night's Monday night game, which, full disclosure for listeners of our podcast, we typically record on Mondays or Tuesdays. Last week we recorded on a Monday, so we didn't touch on Monday Night Football. But I'm pupset.
You get pupset?
I'm really pupset.
Okay, well, I'll let you vent those feelings, but before we do, I just want to tell everybody that if you're a first-time listener, please follow us on all of our social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, using the handle @UFR Vodcast. If you have questions or comments or concerns or threats or anything like that, and you want to send us an email, please feel free to do that too. You can find us at andrewandkata@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And if it's something that we find interesting, we might even read it on the show.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
But this week we're not going to do that because I'm angry.
Okay. Oh, by the way, the podcast comes out every Thursday, and you can find it wherever podcasts are sold. Okay, now.
Okay.
Please.
I'm sorry.
Therapy.
Therapy. Those of you who do follow our social media, which at UFR Vodcast on Instagram, I kind of went off on Monday night, and I really apologize for the people who were receptive of this anger that I had, and I also really apologize to my therapist, Jill, with whom I had to yell at about this all day last Tuesday, because I am just livid about the results of the Packers-Lions game. I think the Lions should have won that game by 2 scores at least. And it was all because of these face mask calls that were not face mask calls.
I was busy doing something. I only caught the very, very, very end of the game. So I know that the Packers won by a last-second field goal.
It was just the most infuriating. It was honestly, Andrew, I had to do some serious soul searching and some reliving of my choices, because I just, and even this Sunday and last Thursday, football was kind of unwatchable. I think that's part of why, in the midst of my weird celestial experience, I was having a really hard time really getting into the games, because I just don't understand how the NFL believes that they can get away with this. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's not fair to anyone that game's result was what it was. It was a great football game. It was a really quite good Packers team against a Lions team that was not supposed to be that good. And then because these face masks were called, which clearly were not face masks, not to mention, this is a guy who has never been called on a face mask in his entire career.
Who's this now?
It's
Trey Flowers.
Trey Flowers, thank you. And Trey Flowers has never been called for a face mask before. Ever. Hands to the face. He's never been called for hands to the face ever in his entire career.
It's that Belichick coaching is what it is.
It really, it's very, very upsetting. And if I were a Lions fan, I don't think I would watch football for the rest of the season.
Okay, that's a bit extreme, but okay.
No, I really, and had this been, I would rank this game, as far as disappointing officiating goes, which we've seen all season and a lot of last season, I would say that this game was more disappointing than Rams and Saints, even though obviously the implications were much higher. Had this been later in the season, obviously, again, implications would be much higher, but it was absolutely just the most deplorable thing I've ever seen. And I'm upset still.
Oh boy. And
Still.
you've been holding on to this for over a week?
I've been holding on to this for over a week.
Oh boy.
I've let it out in spurts. It's been here and there, and it's just, I've been waiting for this opportunity, Andrew, and I don't know what to do.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm never gonna play in the role of therapist, but take a deep breath. Okay, so podcast deep breath. That's fine. Excuse me.
Can we talk? You know what? I don't even want to talk about this anymore. Can we talk about something else?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm sorry. I needed to get that off my chest.
If you have any kind consolation words to say to Kata, please shoot us an email.
It's
AndrewandKata@gmail.com. She would love to hear all of the positive support and send her pictures of dogs because she really likes that.
I'm not even a fan. I'm not a Packers fan. I consider myself a little bit more partial to the Lions because my family's from Detroit, but I'm not even a fan, and I honestly, and it was crazy.
You just don't like seeing bad football.
I
get that.
And it's a game. It's supposed to be fun, you guys. It's supposed to just be a fun game. I went to bed angry that night. I woke up angry the next day. I've been angry all week. Clearly, I am still angry over a week later. Where is the line? Because it's not fun anymore when it's not fair. Right?
I said this a couple weeks ago in that even the people who run the game of football don't understand the game of football.
Well, and there are so many issues too. I mean, we're the only professional sports league that does not have full-time referees.
Right.
I think that's a huge problem. I think I go back to this, we keep going back to this pass interference challenge. You know, that is something that can now be challenged with some validity, even though it's not being overturned like ever. But if that can be challenged when there are clear multiple camera angles that show that this guy did not have his hands on anyone's face mask the entire game, it's a huge problem for me. And I'm worried that I'm losing my love.
You know, next week I'm going to come in with a list of things that are great about football, and I'm going to read them off to you.
Okay.
And we're going to rekindle your love for football. Because I think we can. Because for all of the bad things that we have that are going on in the NFL, there are so many just awesome things that happen every single day that make football great. And that's why we love it. That's what this podcast was founded on, was this love of football that we have.
But it's so funny, too, because last week's show, before this game, was about, like, all of the crazy fun things that football does.
Right.
Right?
But those were even just, like, anomalies. I'm talking, like little things. Like, when a receiver goes to catch the ball, right, and he gets 2 feet in bounds, and you see the little flicks of the AstroTurf kick out. It's just little things like that make me happy about football. And for all the shit that goes on, there are at least 10 good things for every one bad thing that happened in the NFL.
Yeah, I guess.
It's just that the bad things are so egregiously bad, you know?
I feel it. I know it's just, you know, I'm having a hard time seeing the good these days. So yes, I would really appreciate a list of all of the wonderful things that we love about football. I think that would be a good therapeutic exercise for both of us to actually do that.
So let's next week, let's do that.
All right. Well, I'm done, but thank you for listening to me.
Of course.
We had another Monday Night Football game.
We sure did.
And you were there.
I was.
This was also egregious football, but for really more fun reasons.
Are you talking about the same things that I said? I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but watching the game in real life and then going online and seeing all the social media reactions to people watching the game were 2 incredibly different experiences.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it always is. And that's the fun thing about going to the games is when I go, which is rare because I actually really enjoy being on social media during the games and kind of doing, you know, the real-time scrolling on my phone while I'm on my couch. But when I go, I want to be there. Sure. I'm not on my phone, you know?
Yes.
But you have never... This was your first professional football game.
It was, yes. For people that know me and know that I'm obsessed with sports of all kinds, I've done all as of Monday, I've done all 4 major sports. Baseball, hockey, basketball games I frequent, but never football. And I've always just been of the mind that why would I go and freeze my ass off in the cold when I can sit and watch the game on TV with surround sound and get up and go to the bathroom and get a snack whenever I feel like it. But a group of my coworkers and I went to the Monday Night Football game this past week between the Patriots and Jets, and it was everything I could have wanted.
Really?
Game, truly. Not like the Patriots win aside. Everything I could have wanted in a football game. It was awesome.
That's
just a whole experience, and I've had a hell of a weekend. That's why my voice is absolutely shot today. But can I just like take you through my experience here?
Yeah, I'm thrilled that you had so much fun. I was worried it wasn't going to live up to your expectations.
Oh no, it absolutely did.
Tell me.
Truly. Okay, so you've been to MetLife Stadium before, yes?
Of course.
How do you get there usually?
So in my experience, we'll usually go to Connecticut and grab a car and then drive, and we'll park we tailgate, so we'll park at the stadium. Usually either that, or if we're meeting friends who happen to be going in a car, we'll take a train out somewhere and like they'll pick us up from a train and we'll go.
Okay.
It's not the easiest place to get to. How did you get there?
We drove.
Okay.
We drove from Midtown to the stadium, and it really didn't take us that long. We left around 4:30. Where we really wasted our time was in this is my one drawback to this. Is this bullshit business with parking passes at the stadium. The people with non-permits, you have to pay $40 to park over by, the Dunkin' Donuts in Short Hills, New Jersey, and then walk 2 miles to MetLife Stadium because it's so far out of the way. And then, you have to, like, go and buy a parking pass online, and you can only, like, print it out. Luckily, we finally did find one. It was $80, and it was in the green section. So there are 3 different sections of lots at MetLife Stadium. There's yellow, orange, and green. And yellow and orange are like, the regular, general admission. And green is like right out front. Mm-hmm. Like we were parked like outside the stadium, right about it where the 50-yard line would be.
Yeah, that's the best section.
We were driving in, and the security guard was like, yellow or orange? And our driver goes, green. And she literally stopped and she was like, ooh, you got the green. Ooh, you got VIP straight ahead. And that was the one point where we were like, yes, awesome, we're here. It was great. We were outside. We tailgated. My boss had his 11-year-old son with him.
Oh.
So, it was nice. We threw the football around, had a lot of snacks.
I was wondering if you were going to tailgate, because I remember when you said you were like, oh yeah, we can't do the show Monday because I've got to leave kind of early. I was like, oh, that probably means like grilling or beers or something in the parking lot.
Well, initially I thought that we were going to take the train because I didn't know that my boss and his son were going.
Right.
And it was only until he was like, oh yeah, I'm going. Let's all just hop in my car and we'll go.
Amazing.
It just made it even better.
Yeah.
Truly. MetLife Stadium is enormous.
It's huge.
It's huge. And I've been to Gillette, and that place is like the Death Star. MetLife is even more impressive than that. It's just very clean and pristine and round. Not that Gillette isn't. Gillette has its quirks, but MetLife is just like, that's your like quintessential football stadium right there.
Well, and it's relatively new too, which I think
True.
helps that. I've always kind of thought of MetLife, and granted, I never went to a game at the old Giant Stadium, but compared to like some of these even newer stadiums, like Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, oh my God, I mean, that stadium is a museum. I could spend days just walking around that thing, and it's so beautiful. And as a result, I've always kind of considered MetLife to be kind of a trash heap, but it's not. It is a very, very nice stadium.
Yeah.
But it is huge, and it's hard to get around. And one of the great things that they do, along with so many other football stadiums, is you have different, like you'll have a Deep Eddy's bar or a Heineken bar or all these different things. And so you kind of have to make sure that what you like is in your section.
We had a wings place and a spiked seltzer place right outside our section. Section 343.
Perfect.
At MetLife Stadium. It was great. We were up high. We were in the 18th row of what is essentially, I'm speaking in theater terms, of the balcony of the place.
Sure.
But you could see everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were looking diagonally. We were probably on par with the back of the end zone, sort of in the corner.
I see.
Pretty
Okay.
much. But you could still see the whole field. It was great. And I mean, the game was awesome. Just being a Patriots fan and just kind of watching them score almost with ease. I don't know. You watched the game, yes, on TV?
Of course.
Okay, great. So the Patriots basically moved the ball with ease. The defense looked amazing. It was to the point where the Jets got a first down, and I was like, is that their like second of the game?
Yeah.
And it was in like midway through almost at the end of the second quarter. It was funny to a point.
Yeah. And I think I have more questions about your experience, but I do want to talk about this game a little bit because we can.
Sure.
So Sam Darnold, second week back, wearing 80 plus pounds of additional material so as to protect his spleen.
I was about to say, yes.
Yeah, and he had a great first game back. So I honestly, I truly believed that there was a good chance that the Jets would cover the spread.
I thought so too. I thought it would be a closer game than it was.
And what ended it 33-0?
33-0.
33-0. Absolute blowout. There were so many interceptions.
All 4 of them, yes. Well, there was one, Brady threw one.
Brady threw one too, yes. But it was almost, and it was funny, there was the mic'd up portion. You can see it on...
I did not hear about this until afterwards, but apparently Sam Darnold was mic'd up and said, quote, "I'm seeing ghosts."
Well, and the crazy thing about that to me is that was clear from the stance of what I was seeing on television, 100%. But it was almost as if like they'd look like, oh man, he just threw like a really high, deep pass, and then the camera starts panning to the end zone where it might be caught, and there isn't a Jet in sight.
That's right. And
it was almost like Sam Darnold thought he was playing for the Patriots.
That's right. There were more than one. There was more than one interception in the end zone.
Right.
For sure. And even like on the second play of the game too, you knew it was like, okay, this defense is for real. And I was telling people that I was excited to see how that Patriots defense looks real. They look good.
Yeah.
They look very, very good.
Yeah.
Truly.
No, they do.
Yeah.
It was a really great game, and in the sense that it was fun to watch, but it was also like I was out at a bar with some buddies, and one of them is a Jets fan from birth, and he's like, "Oh, yep, we're back. Here we go."
So my boss and his son were sitting down below in the 140s, and I guess my boss was sitting next to a big burly Jets fan, and he like bumped his arm or something like that at one point, and my boss apologized to him, and he's like, the Jets fan's like, "No, it's okay. May as well just like beat me up now anyways."
Oh,
Poor guy.
That's so sad.
The one thing that I was really kind of shocked about when I got there is the equal balance of Patriots and Jets fans.
I was going to ask you about that too, because I feel like at Giants games, it's usually primarily Giants fans, even if they're playing the Patriots at MetLife.
I believe it.
I think it's mostly Giants fans, but Jets, you've got Jets and Patriots, and the Jets fans are pretty hardcore, I'd say.
When their team is good, they're terrible at the moment.
Well, but they're still like diehard. My boyfriend Michael jokes that the Jets are like the second worst fan base in the NFL. But they come out and they support, but because of like the New York transplants from other areas of New England, I would not be surprised if it was an even divide. So it was
45% Patriots, 45% Jets, and about 10% empty seats. There were quite a few empty seats at this game today. And the place was empty by the end of the third quarter.
Right.
It was empty. There was like an audible, very loud Brady chant by the end of the game.
Wow.
That was happening.
Wow.
It was crazy. The Patriots fans, or Boston fans in general, tend to go and set up camps where their division rivals are. Mm-hmm. And by camp, I mean like there's a big fan base in New York of Patriots fans. There's a big fan base in Miami of Patriots fans as well. And you see this in baseball too.
Yeah.
You see, Tropicana Field, where the Rays play, has sometimes been called Fenway South because of all the Red Sox fans that show up there.
I think and not so much the Giants, I don't think, but the Yankees, if we're talking baseball too, the Yankees also tend to do that throughout the country.
That's
right. Because there's just so many, and it's such a classic team, so much tradition there. But I want to ask you one more question about just the balance of these fans. Any good fights?
Yes, there was, in fact, somewhat of a fight. There was someone who actually got handcuffed and let out by security.
Oh, shit.
We saw that across the way. That was on the other side of the field down below. But there were 3 people in the front of our section. There was a Patriots fan, like a very loud, obnoxious Patriots fan wearing a Sony Michel jersey. A row in front of him was a Jets fan, and they were kind of jawing at each other. And then there was this other guy who was wearing a Ravens jersey.
Oh, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, he was at the wrong game,
yeah.
I think. So the 3 of them were jawing at each other. But they were almost being bro-y and almost high-fiving. I did start a kiss chant. And the people in my section were
to get them to kiss.
Yeah, because they were just jawing at each other, broing at each other, giving high fives. And I was just like, kiss! And everyone else in the section was like, kiss!
I never pegged you to be a chant starter.
Oh yeah, I love starting chants. So the MetLife roof is kind of above our section as well. So I would start clapping, and I could hear the echoes. And I was saying to my friends, I feel out of place because I'm always one to start the slow clap at baseball games. That's always me because I have a really loud clap. But yeah, it was fun to start a chant like that.
I'm learning so much about you.
Oh, I did a lot of heckling at this game.
I'm excited. I would like to one day attend a football game with you.
I think it would be fun. Yeah, let's do that.
I would like it to not involve the New York Giants or the New England Patriots.
I also think that's a good idea. Yes.
Anyways, well, I'm glad you had a great time.
It was awesome. It was so much fun.
Even though the game was really, I mean, it was interesting. It was an interesting game, but it was only because of like some really bad play. Which, but by the way, before we close out this segment, I know we're going a little long and we need a break soon. But before we close out this segment, I just wanted to ask you who you think is to blame for the Jets being bad.
Oh, it seems like Adam Gase, honestly, the head coach. There was one guy who literally yelled. It was first down for the Jets was a run and it was stuffed. And then a Jets fan in front of me yelled, "Come on, Gase, be creative now." And
right.
I thought that was funny. I feel like the Jets aren't being creative enough. With Sam Darnold, Darnold's a good quarterback, and I think this, but I do think that he's going to be run into the ground by poor management.
Yeah.
Just another quarterback whose talents are wasted by poor management.
I know, it's a shame. I have to agree with you. I think that when Sam Darnold is walking off the field in the third quarter and saying, "I'm seeing ghosts out there," that's when you say, okay, well, this game is going nowhere.
Correct.
We pull him out, keep him safe, particularly since he was just sick, and very seriously so. And
put Luke Falk back in and
just run with it.
Yeah.
Finish the game. I think that was really, really poor game management.
Also, don't say dumb shit when you're mic'd up in primetime.
Look, I mean, he said what he was feeling, and honestly, I'm glad he said it because I felt really bad for him. I really did, because we do know, I mean, I agree with you to some degree that Sam Darnold is a good quarterback.
We saw it last week against the Cowboys. He looked good.
But something happened, and whatever it was, if he's seeing ghosts out there, then he needs to let the people know, because otherwise, if he hadn't said that, I almost feel like the general chatter around the NFL community today and around the media today would be, is Sam Darnold good, or did he just have a good day?
You know the Patriots defense nickname, right? It's the Boogeyman.
Oh God.
No, wait, seriously. Like not even before this game on Monday night.
Right.
That's like the nickname that that's been bestowed upon them. So it's kind of spooky.
Yeah.
We're sticking with the spooky theme here, but
in the autumn, a week before Halloween.
It's just poor management.
Yeah.
On the Jets' part, and I think that entire front office is to blame.
Yeah.
So Adam Gase included.
Got to make some changes.
Truly.
All right, kids, we're going to take a break. But when we come back, we're going to talk about a bunch of different things. We've got a trade deadline coming up.
Yes,
and
next week. So excited.
I know. It's going to be really exciting. So stick around, and we'll be right back.
Okay, bye-bye.